Christmas and the school holidays can be hard on the pocket. Sorted's David Kneebone is here with how to avoid a silly season cash crisis. That was a Freudian slip. Nice to have you on the show, David.
Thanks for having me, Sarah.
So it's only 6 weeks until the big day. Is it too late to do a plan this year?
Not at all. In fact, that's the one thing we'd encourage everyone to think about is set a plan for what you and your family could have as a spending limit, especially for those big ticket items like food and presents and maybe even travel.
So let's talk about that, because there are a lot of families out there that literally find it hard to get from week to week. You know, everything's tight, the mortgage or rent. They might not even have any money for a turkey or even presents for their children. What should they do?
Well, if you think about food to start off with, you might have, with 6 weeks to go, at least 6 trips to the supermarket, maybe even more. Is there the opportunity within your weekly shop to maybe pull back on some things and collect some of, some goodies for Christmas Day? I think the key thing is to think about it now and not leave it until the week before Christmas. Or maybe you can ask others that are joining you to help out.
Yes.
Bring
a plate.
Absolutely. I had a fantastic Christmas Day 2 or 3 years ago in Kaihu near Dargaville. There was about 120 people all came into this magnificent Christmas. And one auntie organised it 2 weeks beforehand and she gave us all things to bring. So my partner and I had to bring bread. Heaps of other people had lots of stuff to take. It reduced the financial burden on her and the rest of the family, and it was a magnificent day. We felt good too, because we had lots of stuff to contribute.
Do you know what I would say also, as someone who's prepared many Christmases for my family? It's not even a financial thing. It's so exhausting doing it all yourself. I mean, I felt like I was spending the entire time in the kitchen. So by everyone bringing a plate, not only is it saving you money, but it's saving your time as well, which I think is so important. Let's talk about the present thing. Are there if you've only got a really limited budget, are there alternatives to actually having to spend money on Christmas presents?
Well, one of my favourites to contribute and to receive is baking. And I've had a number of ideas from Sorted users in the last few days, actually. Some have talked about providing photos of their families in frames, which if you've got access to a camera is a really good idea and can be done inexpensively. Another option is to think about using the Boxing Day sales, especially if you decide that one of your kids deserves a big ticket item that costs a lot. Can you give them vouchers on Christmas Day? Will that work in your family and then utilise those the next day?
The next day, like if they want like a big iPod or something really expensive. So generally on the Boxing Day, I mean, a lot of people return their goods then as well. Are there significant discounts on big ticket items generally?
Yeah, I can't guarantee they'll be there, but if we look at the last few years and you're prepared to tolerate the queues, then it could be a good option. Or maybe invite other members of your family to also contribute to some of those big ticket items if you decide that's right for your kids.
That's right, or for your grandmother, for example, if you want to get grandma something really special, get all the cousins to get together and buy grandma or granddad something really nice. Now, what I did a couple of years ago, which didn't work unfortunately, but it's very popular now, is you put everyone's name in a hat, you pull out a name, everyone pulls out a name, and you get a set amount to spend on that person. It could be as little as $10. The problem in my family is my father didn't spend up to the limit for one of the other members, and that did not go down well. So do you have any recommendations for that to make that kind of thing work?
We do that.
Spend the limit.
We do that in our family also, and I think the most important thing is to have a clear conversation and make sure everyone's aware of what that limit is and get buy-in to it. Again, it's one of those things with 6 weeks in the lead up, you've got time.
Yes, that's right. So you can just explain, like, it's $20 per person, please spend up to your full $20 so no one gets hurt. Now, 2011 Christmas, I mean, it's frightening to think about it, but this year has gone so fast it'll be around really quickly. What are some ways we can even start planning now for next Christmas?
Well, if you could put $10 a week away over the next 52 weeks, there's over $500 you're going to have at this time next year. Personally, I'd like to have that available.
Yes.
But you need to think about what's right for you and your family. For example, if you pop that in a bank account, it's going to be sitting there the whole year. Maybe it's better to think about some form of Christmas club, like with a supermarket.
They're good, aren't they?
Yeah, that will give you vouchers come next December, which you can only spend on food or the products from that supermarket. Some other ideas, I've heard of some people planting some pretty fantastic gardens around spring to mature on Christmas Day, which is obviously going to reduce the cost of that whole period.
And you're saying to give them as plants, is that what you're talking about?
No, to eat.
Oh, to eat. Oh, okay, like vegetables and all that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, my potatoes are going to be done by then.
Depends on how big your family is, of course.
That's great. Well, look, some really good ideas. Thank you so much, David.